Please don't spoil the movie.
by adding your own soundtrack. I just pressed record and you're like, are we recording? But now we're recording.
Yes.
Hi, I am Professor Snape.
I knew you were gonna. I knew it. And when I just thought of my name, I was like, since we were just watching Harry Potter.
Okay, I've been picked that name though.
I was gonna do Hermione Granger.
Nice. And welcome back to
Please don't spoil the movie.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Christmas was yesterday.
Okay, I still can't say Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler. I was on Twitter, and apparently now it's lame to say Merry Chrysler.
Whoa.
It's like old and outdone joke. You're not funny anymore.
Oh, okay. Did not know that. I did not know that.
What's going on?
Did someone make that tweet specifically? They were like, stop saying that.
It was just like that. Well, you know how they have like trending topics? Merry Chrysler was one of them. And they're like, if I hear another Merry Chrysler joke.
I love Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler. Anyhow, how are you?
I'm fine. How was your Christmas?
It's fabulous.
We had the same Christmas. Thank you for the book that you gave me. One thing about me, I love a good memoir. Don't always read all of them, but I love to pick one up and buy it.
Right.
And when did I tell you that I wanted to read that book?
I thought we were talking about it on the podcast. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, for Christmas, I didn't buy her anything, but she bought me something. Next year I got you.
Right.
Jordan bought me I'm Happy My Mom's Dead by Jeanette McCurdy, which is a #1 New York Times best-selling novel. And disclaimer, I do love my mother. I just wanted to really read the book. And I did not expect, first of all, I didn't expect to get a gift from her. But then I did not expect that gift to be the book. And I'm really excited to read it. Because it looks really good. I mean, the title by itself is just so grabby.
No one's been talking about it. And it's crazy.
You said no one's talking about it?
I said everyone's talking about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And everyone seems to love it. And
yeah, I'm excited to read it. I'm excited to see how crazy her mother was.
Right, and see stuff behind the show and all that child star stuff.
Yeah. Being a child star is not easy.
No.
What about you? What was your favorite Christmas gift?
My favorite Christmas gift was, what did I get? I guess a perfume mom got us.
Was it Baccarat?
Baccarat.
That sounds like an Italian dish.
Baccarat.
Or a Greek.
Can't wait to try it.
Dessert.
I know it's a popular perfume / cologne among the blacks. So.
I'm a weak. I've never heard of it, but
yeah, Chance was really into that perfume cologne. I don't know if it's a perfume or a cologne, but I think boys and girls can wear it. So I don't really know what do you call that? The unisex.
Wait, so what we got? It's for boys and girls.
I think so.
That one, that scent.
I believe so.
I don't know if I like that.
It's unisex.
It smells pretty feminine to me.
Yeah. And if I stand corrected, it's supposed to smell differently on different people. I could be totally making that up.
Oh,
I'm pretty
for real?
sure I heard someone say that.
If that's the case, that's hilarious.
I don't know, but
it's supposed to do with like your pheromones or something.
I could be completely making that up, but I feel like someone told me that one time.
Anywho, that's hilarious.
Sorry if I'm lying.
Well, have you binged anything good lately?
Yes, I watched. Did we talk about the second season of when they go on that resort?
White Lotus?
White Lotus.
I haven't seen the second season.
Right. But I didn't know you hadn't watched the first season. But I finished the second season of White Lotus. It was good.
I hate the show. It's horrible.
It's different. I knew you were gonna like it.
It's so lazy. It's just like, where's the storyline?
I love it.
Where's the intrigue? Oh my God. I was just like, why is this show so popular? It's so boring.
It's messy.
What?
It's messy. It's drama.
It's just like, okay, I'm just watching these people go on their awkward family vacation.
Yeah.
And that's it.
For a week. It's just a long time.
Yeah.
7 whole days. It's just drama.
It's not the best.
And then I believe you started watching Sex Lives of College Girls.
Oh, yes. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah. I think I'm behind on like 2 episodes.
Oh, I finished it. It was really good.
Yeah, I love it.
Actually, I lied. This season, first of all, I don't know what it is. Okay, look. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, the main girl.
Love that. No, she's not the main girl, okay? They share the spotlight evenly. But I do not. What even is her name? Let me see.
On the show? I don't know
any of their names. You know that's Timothy Chalamet's older sister?
Right. I saw that. She's a Nepo baby, right?
Huh?
Is she a Nepo baby?
The what baby?
Are they a nepotism baby?
I have no idea. Probably.
Have you? Oh, okay.
Probably. But
You've heard about
she's the
Nepo.
Lether Chalamet. Kimberly. I get it. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. She got big old biggies or whatever.
She lost them.
She did lose a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
She did lose a lot of weight. And I was disappointed in her for losing that weight. I was like,
liked her
girl,
stick.
Ain't nothing was wrong with you. But
Get
why does she keep on getting
the hottest
these grade A dime pieces?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like a solid 6.5.
Right.
And it's really making me mad because they keep putting the black girl and the Indian girl with like the bottom feeders, and I'm just like, they're the hottest too,
Right.
and Kimberly's getting all the action.
Right.
She literally got like a Channing Tatum replica this season, and I was like, why? I was like, okay, like when she
Maybe
was
the
dating
first
the
guy,
girl's
right.
brother Nico, I was here for it. I was like, okay,
Makes sense.
you wouldn't predict it, you wouldn't expect it, but I like it. I like them together. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Then she got Channing Tatum part 2.
Right.
And I was like, all right, we're getting a little crazy here. Then,
Okay, I haven't seen this, so don't tell me.
Oh,
She gets someone else hot, but yeah, don't tell me. Leave it there.
Then she get, sorry, not this boyfriend. Then she get somebody else hot. And I'm like, all right, now y'all are tripping.
Right.
Tripping.
I really
And I'm supposed to expect that this black girl and this Indian girl are getting like 2s.
Right. I don't
And
like
they're
how,
solid 10s.
I don't like how the black girls keep having to date white men. I'm like, can we get
Yes,
her? It's
First
she
of
can do
all,
1 or 2.
I'm fine with it as long as they're hot. But that soccer coach that she was dating,
Gross.
oh my God.
All right, I forgot about him.
Honestly, I think you could make the argument that he was on the spectrum. I was like, what is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? Why is she dating him?
Yeah.
He was at no point in life could anyone ever say he was cute. He was horrendous.
There was no point.
That was foul. I was like, if she's gonna hook up with her soccer coach, at what point in life has a soccer player ever been ugly? But he is one.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would they, where did they find him? The dumpster? Like, I just, But anywho, about the show.
Who's your favorite character on the show?
The Indian chick. What's
Yeah.
her name?
She's our favorite. She's hilarious.
Bella.
Bella.
Well, I don't know any of their names. There's Bella, Leighton, and Whitney.
I
okay?
kind of like Leighton. Leighton is funny.
I like Leighton too. I must say, Whitney, the black girl, I think she's a horrible actress. Or I feel like her character has nothing. Like, I feel like all the other girls, like, they have, okay, like,
They have a thing.
yeah, like, Bella's like, oh, she wants to be a comer. She's funny. And she's like, she has no social cues. And she's
So funny.
overly confident.
Yeah, love it.
And Leighton, she's like, okay, she's coming out. And then Kimberly's like the awkward one. I feel like Whitney doesn't have anything.
Right.
Like, she's just normal. And I feel like
She's
maybe
an
that's
athlete.
hard for her to act normal. Like, I don't know. I just think she's a horrible actress. And I think her character has nothing.
I don't think she's a bad actress.
But she's pretty.
I think they're on this. I think they're all on the same level of acting. But I could see like
I don't know, when she acts, I'm
just.
just like, it makes me want to cringe. I'm just like, her acting is just not great to me.
Yeah, I don't mind her acting. I think not Kimberly, the Indian girl. I mean, she's the funniest. I can't believe she slept with that guy, that a comedian guy.
Oh yeah, I was like, huh?
I was like, you were wild.
I was like, whoa,
You're unhinged.
Yeah, she really was tripping this season. I was like, wow, she's crazy. She needs therapy. I was like, oh my God.
She's trying to make it to the top. I was like,
She will claw her way to the top.
I love her. I'm just like, okay, you need to
Calm down.
You need to calm down. You need to like talk to someone before you do the ideas.
Right.
That you have.
She don't think, she just act.
She's hilarious. Oh, and I love that they're giving the Spanish girl that works at the coffee shop with them.
Oh.
I love how she's giving like more this season. She's
yeah,
hilarious. I
she's
love
funny.
her, honestly.
She's funny.
Yeah.
Nothing she says, first of all, I also think like the jokes on the show are horribly written.
Oh, I mean,
The only time I ever laugh is at Bella, but I think the jokes on the show are horribly written. I think the show we need to work on the writers' room a little bit.
No, I like
But-
it's like sitcom-y.
But I think she never says anything funny, but when she delivers it, it's funny. Like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
she delivers it is funny. Like, nothing that comes out of her mouth is funny if it came out of anybody else's mouth, but she delivers it really good.
That's part of it, but yeah, good show. Love it.
I thought this season was a little corny until I did like the season finale, though. I was like, finally, we're getting depth. Because up until this point, I was like, this is kind of...
It's just a show. What do you
I'm
want from it?
sorry that I have an eye for these things. And I know good television when I see it. And I know where there can be improvements when needed.
I don't know. I like how it's just it's a relaxed show.
I just realized, but they could use some work. I'm not saying like it needed more drama. Well, actually, I might be saying that because I was getting kind of bored. But it needed a couple of different things. Like, it wasn't funny. I'm like, I'm not laughing. Absolutely. Why does Kimberly get all the hot guys? Come on, this is getting ridiculous. It's starting to feel racist. Why is the straight cis white woman getting all the hot men? What about the minorities of the group? Hello. First of all,
maybe that's what he likes from Kentucky.
Ugh.
He's from Kentucky, right? Something like that. But yeah.
Anywho, that's all I got. That's my rant for Sex Lives of College Girls.
Love it. But love the show. I don't know if I love the rant.
Whatever.
Agree to disagree. Did I watch anything else? I watched Midsummer.
Oh, Jesus. Isn't that like a horror movie?
Yeah.
What is it about? It's a cult?
Girl. It's the dumbest thing. Because it's like a group of roommates. It's like 4 guys. They're roommates. And
is this present day?
Yeah, present day. 4 guys, they're roommates. One of the roommates is from, they're like, he's Swedish, and he's from Sweden. He invites the guys to go to his, like, and they know he's, like, in a,
cult.
They don't call it a cult. They're, where you live.
A commune.
A commune. He says he's from a commune.
Mm-hmm.
It's a no for me. It's an immediate no. I don't want to go to your freaking commune. It's either a religious commune or a hippie commune. I don't want to go.
Right.
I appreciate the invitation. I'm good.
Right.
Like, it's going to be weird no matter what.
Right.
They agree to go.
Uh-huh.
So stupid. But one of them has a girlfriend. Her sister just committed suicide and she killed her parents and she's going through a lot.
She killed her parents?
The sister killed herself and she killed her parents.
Oh.
Yeah, crazy. So she's going through a lot and the boyfriend, they have a weird relationship. They're like codependent, but they're like on ice. He doesn't really like her and she's like trying to salve it. It's just weird. Anywho, but he invites her on the trip. She wasn't supposed to come, blah, blah, blah. Basically, they get there. It's obviously a cult. Mm-hmm. And they have a thing that happens every 90 years and they give like offerings and it has to be like 4 people from the community, 4 people who are outsiders.
So that's why he invited them?
That's why he invited them.
That's so messed up.
But like he really liked the girl and she becomes it's just weird. They all die. And I guess the reason why they all die. All the boys die. And I guess one of the reasons why they
even the one who invited them?
No, he oh yeah, he does die, but he actually does. No, he actually lives. No, I take that back. Does he die? No, he lives. He lives. He lives. Because I got him confused with the other guy who also invited people too, and I got them kind of confused. But he lives because I think they're going to date.
Are you serious?
Married. She's staying in the cult. She's in the cult.
What?
Her boyfriend dies. It's funny. Okay, so the other friends die because I guess the way they try to like justify their deaths and them killing them is like they do stuff you're not supposed to do. Like one of the guys
on the commune,
yeah, like they have a Bible, so like they're like religious texts. Mm-hmm. Two of the guys decide they want to do their thesis on it. They're freaking weird. Anywho, and he's like, "Can I take pictures of it?" And the guy's like, "No." Mm-hmm. The guy comes back in the middle of the night. He's not supposed to be in there, and he's taking freaking pictures of the thing. And they call him, of course, and they kill him. And they all do like messed up stuff.
How did they kill him?
They whack him on the head with a hammer. Oh, a lot of bludgeon stuff. And then one guy,
I hate
peed on their sacred tree. Done.
That one's a little bit worse.
Yeah, it was an accident, but and then another guy, and then her boyfriend, he dies because like so she could have a choice. Because she was the Mayflower Queen. They do this like.
Is this the girl from? I'm sorry, darling.
Call me dog or whatever.
Darling. That movie with all of them. Darling. They got all the beef. Yeah.
Anyway, it's from her.
Don't worry, darling.
Florence. Yes.
So she's the girl. Every time we see her, she got the flowers on her head.
So they have to do this thing. The women do this thing where they dance, and whoever's the last, they take like mushroom tea or something like that. They dance around. Whoever's the last one to stay standing up gets to become the Mayflower Queen or whatever the hell. She wins. That's what she has all that crap on her hair. And then she gets to pick who does the final offering. So they have like
final offering of what?
So they need 9 people
that they're killing?
9 people kill themselves. So 2 of them are for the community, which was like these 2 old people that had to die anyways because they die at 76. Everyone, if you're like 76, you have to like you're dead. So literally in the first they've been in the commune the next day. 2 old people jump off a cliff.
This is horrible,
terrible,
and they weren't like, "Let's get the hell out of here."
The 2 so her boyfriend and the black guy, which is the guy who took the photos, them 2 are like, "I want to do a thesis on this place." They're only worried about them damn selves.
They're only worried about their
And
thesis.
Florence, they had some, I guess they cut some scenes out, but Florence is like, we have to go. And her boyfriend's just like, like, it's cool, it's chill. They just trying to do this. Like,
so at the beginning, she's like, this is crazy.
This is crazy. Like,
But
this is off.
She gets into it later. Shame
She
on
gets
her.
into it. Well, because
she becomes the flower queen.
No. Okay, so she goes to Flower Queen. Let me say this. They have 9 offerings, 4 from the community and 4 from the outsiders. And then
that's 8.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's hold on, I'm getting there.
She's
So
like,
and then
math.
she gets to pick
one.
So they have an offering from an outsider. The only last one left is her boyfriend, or someone from the community.
What is her boyfriend doing this whole time?
So right now,
is he like freaking out?
At this point in the movie, they've gave him some kind of drug that he can't move his body, he can't speak. So he's just like in a wheelchair and he's just watching this, and she picks him to die. At this point, he's already had sex. He's already had group sex. It wasn't group sex, but it was a weird
orgy.
An orgy, but there were women watching him, but he was only have sex with one person.
Oh.
And to get her pregnant.
What?
Because the community, of course, is small. So they're trying to avoid incest. So another reason why they bring outsiders in is to get the girls pregnant.
Oh God!
So they needed him to get this girl pregnant.
Horrible.
She saw him. She's freaking out. I think the reason why she stuck with the community because she feels a lot. Like she has like all these emotions and stuff like that, and her boyfriend has like just been like pushing them off or something.
So he was like, "Sure, I'll totally have this sex with this stranger while the rest of you watch."
I don't think he knew that they were going to be watching there, but once they gave him drugs before he went in.
Oh.
Like they're constantly giving them drugs.
Them. Okay.
Like the moment they get there, they're giving them mushroom tea or whatever the hell. So like they're constantly giving the drugs. They gave him drugs before he went in there, and I guess he like the lady kind of like told him like he knew he was gonna have sex with her, I guess, but I don't think he knew all that. But it's just all happened so fast. And it was a crazy movie, but it was just like weird because at the end,
this is horrible.
Yeah, it's very horrible. At the end, you could tell she's gonna stay in a cult, but I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. She's in a cult.
Oh my God, which one is the one who invited them there?
So this is her boyfriend.
Eyebrows.
This is her boyfriend.
I knew it.
And this is the one who invited them.
Oh, so Mark is one of the boys who dies. One of the friends.
Yeah, he's the one who pees on the tree.
Oh.
And the black guy is the one that and that girl with the long hair.
Oh, Tweet. He's from The Good Place.
Oh, yeah. And then the girl with the long hair, that's the one that he gets pregnant, the boyfriend.
This is horrible.
It's so weird. The weirdest part
this is disgusting.
They bring outsiders in so they can try to avoid incest at best. But they pick in their community, they have special needs kids or people who create their Bible and whatever their text, and the person draws and then the community interprets it. That person is made purposely by incest.
What?
So the rule is like that whoever the person is who writes their sacred text has to be disabled. And the way they do that is by making incest babies. And that was the craziest part of the whole thing. I was like, this is too much. Oh. But it's a weird call in the freaking Switzerland. I don't know how they don't get called, but they only do that part every 90 years. They only do that. So maybe that's how they're getting away with it.
Oh, this is horrible.
But I don't know how. I was like, I don't know how they.
Can you explain when she starts to lean into this? Like when she's like, okay, I'm about this life. Because I'm looking at these photos and she looks disheveled at every freaking scene.
So throughout the whole thing, she's like, people are going missing. She's like, where's this person? Where's this person? Where's this person? And the boyfriend's like brushing it off. By the time it gets to the end, you almost don't feel sorry for him because I'm like, all his friends are going missing. Mm-hmm. Like the black guy goes missing, the white guy goes missing. He's like, I don't know where they at. I'm cool, blah, blah, blah. Because he's trying to get his thesis and he's not worried about them. But
the boyfriend also wants to write a thesis?
Yeah, they both want to write a thesis. Though actually the way the white boy does it is pretty messed up because the black boy from jump went into this thing saying he was going to write his thesis about this place. And then like after seeing those old people jump from the cliff, the white boy's like, I want to write my thesis on here too. And the black guy's like, are you kidding me? Get your own thing.
Right.
Anywho, she starts to lean into it. Kind of like when she does a little dance, like it does a little Mayflower dance.
She looks very Okay.
That's around then's when she starts to lean into it.
Who wrote this?
That's an A25.
People be crazy. People be crazy. People who write stuff like this.
It's really good.
They need to see somebody. Oh god.
But remember I was watching that movie. It was like this is an A24 production. That's another one of them.
Oh, I see. They do be coming up with some good movies though.
They do. I kind of want to watch every movie they've created.
No. Because if it's like that, no thanks. Anywho, let's move on.
I'm scared. Yeah.
I'm disturbed.
Honestly, I feel like I left with more questions. I was like, I
bet you did.
I want more answers. But anywho, welcome back.
Yeah, let's get to something positive. A positive movie.
Do you want to tell her what movie you're going to describe it?
Think outer space. Think Interstellar. Think Galaxy. Think Milky Way.
Think Star Trek.
Think
futuristic.
Thank you. Think Race Me to the Stars. Think The Galaxy is Ours. Think international British boy band.
Right.
Think Trump. The Galaxy is Ours, my girl.
Think Trump.
Okay. Yeah. Think Donald Trump.
There we go.
And think
corporations. Corporate greed, man.
Think the periodic table.
The periodic table.
And the reason why I say that because Zenon is on the periodic table. It's an element on the periodic table. Okay. But yeah, the movie that we're doing today is Zenon, girl of the 21st century.
Yeah.
Yay. So since this is a Disney Channel original movie, it wasn't a lot to find. I didn't even think it was worth typing anything. I'm just gonna read it off my source, aka Wikipedia. Okay, so the film is a 1998 Disney Channel original movie directed by Kenneth Johnson and starring Kristen Storms as Zenon. The film was based on the book Zenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
I didn't know it was a book.
Yes. When we were watching it, I was like, I bet this is a book. Written by Marilyn Sadler and Roger Bolin. The film was originally supposed to be like a TV plot series, but that didn't happen. So they turned it into a movie.
Could have seen it.
And the film was the first under the Disney Channel original movie title. You know, Disney Channel original movie.
What?
No.
Oh.
To produce a sequel.
Yeah. A trilogy.
Trilogy, if you will. So yeah, let's see. And the movie was shot in Vancouver, Canada.
Do you have a budget? They don't have budgets.
They don't do that for.
They don't have a budget.
Movies. I mean, I'm sure there is one, but there's no there's no. You don't. How do you?
Right. There's definitely no box office, but no budget.
Yeah. Okay. They don't really do that on Wikipedia for TV movies.
Oh, okay.
They don't do that for theatrical releases.
Yeah. Well, who's in the movie? Tell me else.
Okay. So Kristen Storms plays Zenon Kar. Raven Simones plays Nebula Wade.
That's
I really
all I
like
needed
that
to
name.
know. Huh?
I really like that name. Nebula.
That's the only person I need to know.
Stuart Patkin plays Commander Edward Plank. Holly Fludger plays Aunt Judy. Frederick Coffin as Parker Wyndham. Bob Bancroft as Mr. Lutz. Philip Rise as Protozoa. Gwyneth Walsh as Astrid Carr. I guess that's the mom. I'm trying to see who else matters on here.
The dad.
I don't see him on here though.
FM.
But yeah,
that's the show.
I mean, like that was really it. Yeah. I was dumpster diving too.
Dumpster diving.
It has a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you can watch the film on
Disney Plus.
All right,
you want to dive in?
Yes, and now we're about to.
Ooh, I'm about to dive in.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay, let's begin. So Zenon wakes up Monday, April 18th, 2049.
How many years from now is that?
It feels right around the corner.
It really does. I was like, that's like
close.
Pretty close. That's only like 20 years from now.
That's gross.
What year are we about to be in? 2023?
Right. Yes, it is.
That's only 26 years from now.
Gross. We're gonna see that. One day we're gonna wake up on April 18th, 2020. 2049.
And be like, none of this is accurate.
Right. I think this is real. But she wakes up from a video call alarm system. It's like a video call from herself.
Honestly, when you really think about it, like, okay, sorry. Her parents, like, will be their age. Like, her parents are probably, like, the same age as us, in retrospect.
Weird. Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that either. Gross.
Right. So she wakes up from a video alarm system from herself, which is probably cool back then. Now I'm just like, that's not great.
That's the norm.
Excuse me. And then sometime later, her mom walks in because she hasn't woken up from her alarm. She's like, "You're running late. You gotta get up." And she says the iconic line,
Cetus-Lupeedus.
Cetus-Lupeedus.
Oh my god, I'm running late.
Yeah. So she opens up her window, and then we see Earth, and then we know now that she lives on a spaceship floating in the universe,
The galaxy.
The galaxy. There we go. Xena is running around the spaceship trying to make it to class on time. She runs into the commander of the ship.
He tells her to slow down.
Yeah, chill out, girl.
Yeah,
they got beef.
Yeah, he seems very, think like general.
Yeah,
think like Iron Fist. Think low tolerance for children.
Right,
he's like, not that bad. But
you again, Zenon.
Yeah, he's like, slow down, little girl.
Right. So we also see her try to get to class. She notices an elevator's out of service, it seems to be a theme on this show. Things keep going out of service. And she sneaks in through a vent because she knows how to do that to get to class on time. And she makes it in time for class just as her professor appears via hologram to teach.
And then also the teacher, during his lecture, he's talking about the Clintons. And he's talking about how Chelsea Clinton, which is Hillary and what that man's name is, Bill Clinton, daughter. He's talking about how she's the current president.
Oh,
yeah,
that's weird. I don't like that.
Why?
I don't. Nepotism. Like,
I mean, what do you think happened with Daddy Bush and George Bush?
I don't like. Also, good. Don't I like that?
I mean,
I'm just thinking about that. I don't like that.
But you
keep
said
it outside of the family.
Well, Hillary Clinton was running for president and her husband was president.
Yeah, I like that a little better than my kid.
It's the same thing.
She should have been president. She probably deserved to be more president than he did.
I just think it's ironic that Hillary Clinton ran for president in this movie. They're talking about their daughter.
That is being president,
right?
They didn't even know that.
Women in politics.
Right. But they have a teacher who's teaching them via hologram. I wonder if he's on Earth.
I think he is. I feel like the way he's dressed.
I wonder how much they're paying him. Okay. So the teacher is. Oh, did you write that? Okay.
Yeah, I started and stuff.
I was like, I did not type that. Okay. So, so Xena interrupts the class because she sees that her favorite boy band, Microbe, is going to be performing on the spaceship, and this will be the first music group to ever do so, which is crazy.
That's pretty cool.
They've been in space for 26 years. If I was a boy band, I would have signed up for that.
But I mean, yeah, but it's not like this is like the spaceship. How big does this spaceship house? Like 5,000 people, maybe, if that. I wouldn't even say that. Yeah. Maybe like 2,000. Like, it's not like they're going to like a country.
I know, but I would have loved to be on the spaceship. I would make it work. I'll go sing.
That's not something I would immediately sign up for.
I would. So cool. But anywho. So class is over, and she tells her best friend, Nebula, which is played by Raven Simone, that their idol, Protozoa, and his pop group will be coming, and they're both very excited. I want to point out they have very, very, very cool futuristic outfits.
I always thought that the fashion in this movie was just beyond.
Especially for a Disney movie, because Disney movies, I guess our generation Disney movie got out of hand with the fashions. Just like throwing crap on you. It's like, here's a scarf, here's a skirt, here's some leggings, here's some socks.
Literally.
More socks.
Here's a hat.
Yeah.
Here's some
ridiculous.
bangles.
This is like very... It's not simple, but it's just very concise.
But I was about to say, I always thought it was so great. But like looking at it today, I was like, all they have on is like more suits.
I like it though.
They literally just wearing more suits and like a skirt and a blazer on top.
Yeah, it's cute though. It's ahead of time. I mean, now it is, but back then,
it's
simple.
I just couldn't believe how fashionable I thought they were back then, and they're literally just wearing more suits.
But they still are fashionable,
I guess.
And they're speaking this space slang that, besides
major,
right,
out of this world, intergalactic.
I never got major. They kept saying major, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't get. I only get Cetus-Lupeedus. Just like, oh crap. And we also find out that there is a concert, and the winner gets to dance on stage with Protozoa, which is not that big of a deal because once you see the stage at the end of the thing, it's like
we all could stand on the stage with them. We're in the cafeteria.
It's a very intimate concert, but anywho, teenage girls. So next scene, we're in the cafeteria, and Commander Edward Plank is making an announcement to let everyone know that the owner of the spaceship company, Patrick Wyndham.
Parker.
I'm sorry. Where did I get Patrick from? Parker Wyndham is coming to visit. And he's coming to visit and to see how everything's going with the spaceship.
And he's basically like, Commander Plank is basically like, look, we've been out here for 26 years. The spaceship's a little old, it's a little raggedy. But we need money from this man. So everyone needs to be on his best behavior. Yeah. And we're all doing, because I guess the reason why this doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess the reason why they're all out there is because I guess like the parents at some point went out of space to do like research and stuff. And then they just started having families and stuff.
Oh, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, now it's a community. It's a commune in space.
But definitely they're there for research, not for living 100%.
Well, I mean, now they are.
Yeah, now they are. But I think their biggest... I feel like if they stopped doing research they'd be why you guys out here?
Their purpose for being out there is like their research. Yeah. And Commander Plank is like, the ship's old, we got some bells and whistles rusting off.
Which is not what I want to hear from the spaceship that I am on in outer space. Not it's raggedy.
Right.
And like, this baby needs to be top notch.
And he was like, but everyone needs to be on their best behavior if we don't want to get canceled and sent back down to Earth because we're all in the middle of very important research. And then Commander Plank also mentions that Zenon's parents are doing some kind of like bone marrow.
Right. Something serious.
Yeah. Space. Which could save millions of lives. So they're doing God's work here, people.
Mm-hmm. And we also, at the end of his speech, towards the end, when he's like, everyone be on their best behavior, he's like looking directly at Zenon.
He shoots daggers into her eyeballs. And he's like, I'm talking to you, little girl.
Yeah, without saying it. Which is kind of creepy. I'm like,
no, because he know what she be about.
Anywho. So the next scene, Zenon goes to talk to her parents because she's also worried about like getting kicked out of space and what that would mean for her and her life since she's been there since 5. She's basically knows nothing else. And her parents also need the space place to work because they have this laboratory and they do all these cool stuff and they can't go to Earth either. So a lot is
I added some stuff in here because I was really trying to figure out. I was like, if they're doing such life-changing work and stuff, wouldn't it make more sense for y'all to do it on Earth because it would be easier for y'all to get the resources y'all need, communication, tools and stuff? I was like, why does being in space help you? Because honestly, it shouldn't do anything but hinder you. But apparently they need like a weightless lab chamber.
Whatever that means.
I don't know what that means.
It's like something we can recreate.
It makes sense in the book. Or in the movie, right? For the sake of the movie.
And then her parents reassure her that everything's going to be okay and they're going to prove the value of their research. And they also point out to Zenon, you could help by being on your best behavior because you'd be cutting up. And she's like, sure. Fine.
Totally. So then in her room, we have a shift in scene. She's in her room with her friends and they're talking about Protozoa and Microbeeb. What is it called? Microbeeb?
You told me.
Microbe. Why did I say microbeeb? Microbe coming. Okay. And they're basically talking about Earth. And the only reason why they're coming is like a money-making scheme. Yeah. And that everything about Earth is about making money. Tragic. And mass destruction and war and weapons and thievery and villainy. And sneezing and disease. And they're basically going in on Earth. Which is all justified.
It is justified. But I was like, damn, what are y'all parents telling you?
But really, think about it. First of all, they have never been exposed to anything.
Weird.
Like they don't, if they were, first of all, I don't understand how she gets to Earth and doesn't die. Because she has not been exposed to like so many like diseases and like, right.
Just like that Earth, gravity.
Yeah, anything that would be like normal to us really should kill them.
Right. I feel like when she got to Earth, she should have sat in a chamber for a day or two to like get used to it.
Yeah,
for sure. That plane. And one of the girls is literally like, I've never sneezed.
Right.
I hear they're sneezing.
But why would she? Because they're in this isolated community in space where nothing lives.
Right.
besides them.
Right.
And I'm sure there isn't thievery. I'm sure they've never murder. What's that? Robbery. Who knows? Because they're in this. That's craziness.
Wonder if people go crazy on there. Because I'm like, how big is this? Because I feel like I would probably know the spaceship front and back.
But also they've never been outside. Vitamin D. Hello.
Right. Oh yeah. Like how do they get their sun?
Yes.
Like,
they've never been in a yard. They've never seen grass. The girl says later she's never experienced rain.
She's scared. She's like, what is this?
Like, that's crazy.
Crazy.
That's actually not a way to live. If you
also, I wonder if what happens, because like what happens if you have no people in your age group?
I think there's enough people on the boat.
I hope so. But like, what if I'm like if I'm just like an odd age and there's only like 5 of us who are like 21?
Then you stay together. And then that's another thing. Is there a club on this boat? This spaceship? Is there a club? Is there bars? What if I want to get drunk one night?
I thought you meant like a club, not like a dancing club. I thought you just meant like we join clubs here.
What if you want to go out? You can. What if you want to rage one night?
Messed up. Right. These are a whole bunch of nerds.
Yes.
Nerds.
It's like they don't know anything.
Yeah.
That's craziness. Anywho. But yeah, so her and her friends are all talking about the concert, and then they start dragging Earth, basically. And then they shift gears to like, okay, so what are we going to do today? Right. And then Xena's like, okay, let's go see this like eclipse or some crap.
Show.
And they're like, all right, cool. So instead of watching the eclipse out of like the window of the space station, she puts on a spacesuit. They go to some secret restricted room where they got like spacesuits and stuff. She puts on the spacesuit and she wants to be sent out via like the spaceship in like a tether pole to like go out and
how do they let her do that? That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, is this normal for y'all? Did y'all practice this? Is no one watching these spacesuits?
I feel like that's probably, I'm sure they've all probably been in a spacesuit at least once.
I was shocked.
Really?
When I was watching it, I was like, no, this little girl is not in a spacesuit. And no, this little girl not floating in space right now.
Yeah. So she's out there. So she puts on the spacesuit. She's out there in space. She's floating around. She sees the little, I guess she
eclipse sees it, that she needed to see so freaking bad.
Yeah, she sees the little eclipse. And right then, when she's having the time of her life in her little spacesuit out in space by herself, her dad walks into the room.
He's like, girl.
And sees her, and he's like, if you don't bring your narrow behind back in here. Yeah.
It's surprising this isn't the thing that gets her super punished.
Yeah.
Because I kind of was like, okay, this is where she gets punished, but it wasn't. And I was like, oh, what happens?
So yeah, her dad sucks her back into the space shuttle. Of course, now she's very much in trouble. Mm-hmm. So she goes to her house, her apartment, her room, her cubicle, whatever they call those spaces where they live. And her mom and her dad are, what's the word I'm looking for? Reprimanding her. Mm-hmm. And the mom's like a little bit more pissed than the dad. And the dad was like, it was kind of cool though. Right. And then the mom's like, can we focus here? And the mom basically says, I need you to be on your best behavior. And if you keep this up, we will be forced to ground you. And she's like, okay. Fine.
Cetus-Lupeedus, calm down, mom.
Yeah, she's like, whatever.
I'm 13, you know.
And that was her last warning.
Yeah. So the next day in her room, Zenon shows Nebula her entry for the Microbe concert, which is an action figure or protozoa. It's pretty cool. And Zenon wants to go, I guess they go like shopping in the trash compact to find things. And she needs to find like something for his guitar strap.
Yeah, they go dumpster diving.
For the dog, right. And then they also discuss the fact that Mr. Wyndham has arrived, the owner of the spaceship. And then also that Xenon's parents are the tour guides for him. And Nebula can't go. She has something to do that's better.
She has to do math.
Yeah. But Xenon's like, okay, I'll go by myself. On her way, she's about to get in the trash compact, but then she sees her parents with Mr. Wyndham. She's like, you know, I'm supposed to be on my best behavior. I can't be digging in trash right now.
So she puts on a show and she bumps into them. She's like, oh, Mr. Wyndham, it's such a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much great things about you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then they start talking about like the protozoa concert, and he says something to the effect like, the effect of, oh, like, I might actually come back up here myself and see the concert. But when he says that, his eyes do, like, this really weird twitchy thing.
Oh, do they?
Yes. And she looks at him and she's like, the hell? And then from then on, she started getting a weird vibe from him. She don't like him. And yeah, off bat, you can tell, like, she thinks that something's off about him.
Yeah.
And then he asks her, like, what do you think about living here up on space? And then she's like, I just love it, sir. It's such an experience, and I can't imagine life anywhere else. Thank you for your wonderful donations to this ship and everything that you've done for us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's going on this, like, rant.
They're like, this is good. They love it.
Yes, they're eating it up. And he's like, oh my goodness, if you ever need a career in PR, honey, call me.
Right.
Seriously. And then Mr. Wyndham also introduces Zenon to his assistant, Mr. Lutz, who looks
his
like
flunky, as Jay
yeah,
said.
his flunky. And that was kind of the end of the conversation, and Zenon goes on her merry way.
Mr. Lutz, I feel like you're about to say Mr. Lutz looks like a villain. He really does.
Yeah, he looks like, he's like a little creepy little nerd, like a little. He looks like he would be an assistant.
He's got this long suit on.
He looks like he would be an evil assistant.
Yeah.
Like he fits that bill.
Yeah, I don't like him. So right after this, Zenon goes to meet with her friends in like the cafeteria, and her friend and I don't know why I typed Raven. Nebula and their friend Leo, which is like a little boy. He's so adorable. He's so tiny.
He weighs like 15 pounds.
Yes, and they're talking about how much they love Mr. Wyndham, and they have nothing but nice things to say about him. And Zenon's like, I'm getting weird vibes from him. I don't like him. But they're like, whatever, Zenon, you always up to something. So that night, Zenon goes trash dumpster diving in the compact thing, which also doesn't seem safe. But she's looking for a guitar strap for the Zoa action figure that she made.
Protozoa
action figure that she made. And on her way out, she sees Mr. Lutz trying to get into the main memory bank, which is something that's very restricted. No one should have, like, only certain people have access to it. So she's like watching him and like trying to figure out what he does. But somehow she accidentally falls out of the trash chute, revealing herself to him. And he's like, why are you here? She's like, why are you here?
And he's like, oh,
I'm just peeking
he's
around.
coming up with an excuse. She's coming up with an excuse.
She's like,
they're both lying to each other.
And she tries to explain, like, this is a very important room because this controls basically the whole ship. If you mess up something in there, we might all die. He's like, no idea. I had no idea that was so important.
Right. And she's not buying it. And she basically convinces him to escort her to her room because she like puts on this like sad, pitiful look. She's like, it's so dark and creepy out here at night. Can you please walk me back to my room?
I wonder if they have like curfew and like
see, another thing. Why? We're adults. Why do we need a curfew on a ship?
Well, just like, I don't know, the idea of someone just like walking around at night. I don't know, it's so weird.
That's another reason why living on the spaceship doesn't work. But anywho,
in the streets of the spaceship,
right?
Should be asleep.
But
also, they should have cameras. Whatever.
They should. They definitely should. That is something.
Everywhere.
But they probably don't believe in cameras because they're like, what do we need cameras for? No one robs or murders or steals here. Okay. This is a utopia society,
right? But I mean, everything. I'm sure everything's free too. Oh, they barter, but everything should be free.
Anywho, so he walks her back to her room reluctantly. Like, and the next day, Zenon is in class and she's trying to stay awake, but she's nearly falls asleep out of her chair because she was up all night spying on Mr. Lutz.
And then at this point, she leaves class. She's talking to Nebula how she still has a weird feeling about him. Nebula's like, okay, girl, relax. And at this point, Mr. Wyndham walks out and her and Zenon have this weird long stare in the hallway.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's honestly a very long scene. I was like, okay, this is...
And then he winks at her. It's like, ooh.
Yeah. So I feel like he knows that she doesn't like him. Like, I feel like they know, like...
Oh, they're onto each other for sure. So... After Zenon kind of expresses to Nebula, like, hey, Mr. Lutz and Mr. Wyndham are up to no good. Next scene, the kids, Zenon, Nebula, all the other flunkies, they go into the cafeteria, I guess it is, to find out who is the contest winner for the Protozoa contest and who will have the opportunity to dance on stage with Microbe. Microbe?
Microbe.
Why do I want to say Microbe?
Microweeb.
But anywho, so they gets to the cafeteria. Protozoa comes up on the screen. He has this really cute British accent.
Frosted tips.
Frosted tips like no other. And he reveals that the winner of the contest is in fact Zenon Kar for her replica of him,
which is pretty cool.
Which is really good. And everyone's like excited. She's overjoyed. Her and Raven or Nebula are screaming. So she wins. She gets the moment of her dreams, and she's really excited about it. This is, a life-changing opportunity for a 13-year-old girl.
Oh, that'd be a life
to get to dance on stage with your boy band idol. That's huge.
It is. I would faint.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her. So right after this, Zenon and Nebula are off walking, and their friend, what's his name? Leo comes up to her, and he basically gives her a passcode,
an access code
to get into the memory bank. That's basically what she's doing. And Nebula, because I guess his dad must do something with that technology, so he's got the end with that. And Nebula's like, literally, do not do anything. You're going to ruin everything. You just got this. You just got the chance to dance on the stage with our celebrity crush. Don't do this, Zenon. You're going to ruin everything. Zenon's like,
pish posh.
Pish posh. So the next scene that night, we see Mr. Lutz sneaking again, this time he actually gets into the main memory bank, and he grabs a disc and he puts it in the computer. He doesn't know, but Zenon's already in the room, and she's watching him do all of this. And he puts the disc in the computer system. Codes pop on the screen. He takes the disc out and he leaves.
He's doing some scientific stuff, like tapping in numbers, crunching computers, all that jazz.
Yes. So he leaves, and then we see him try to put the disc into his pocket, but he misses accidentally. He doesn't know that, but the disc falls on the ground. Zenon doesn't see this either, but and then Zenon is about to leave, but in order to leave, you have to put a code in. And she wrote the code to get in and out on her hand. And by the time she's ready to leave, the code has sweated off and it's like all smeared. And she puts in a code that she thinks is right. And it's obviously wrong. And then
the alarms go off immediately.
And she's freaking out.
And as soon as the doors open, she thinks that she might be able to get out of there scot-free. But as soon as the door opens, Commander Plank and some other people are standing right in front of her. And she is, in fact, busted.
Yeah, I would have shit my pants.
Yeah.
The moment that the alarm went off, I'd have been like, oh my God, I am dead.
So in Commander Plank's office, Zenon is trying to convince her parents and Commander Plank that she's innocent and that she wasn't in the memory bank doing bad stuff. It was really Mr. Lutz, and that he's up to something no good and something bad. And the reason why she was in there is because she was trying to prove a point.
So this would easily be solved if they had cameras. They should definitely have cameras in the main memory bank.
Right.
The most important room.
Right. That's an area where they should have cameras.
Yeah. If anywhere, please have cameras in there. And the commander's like, this is honestly a big deal, which it really is. No one should go in there. You could kill us all. Zenon, I don't blame her for being in so much trouble, because this is actually, to me, I think it was a big freaking deal that she was in there.
Yeah, so basically they weren't buying what she was selling. And the commander is basically like, I'm going to leave it to her. He's talking to her parents. And he's like, I'm going to leave it up to you guys for the punishment. But if the punishment does not fit the crime, and it was a pretty big crime, I will have to take matters into my own hands. And he leaves them with that.
So back in the room, Zenon's mom says she has no other choice but to ground Zenon. And at first, Zenon's like, I don't even know what ground means. Y'all never did this before. And her dad's like, no. We're going to ground you. Put you on ground, like earth. And she's like, I still don't get it. She's like, you are going to live with your aunt on earth. And I think that's messed up.
Yeah. For sure. What I think is messed up is they don't tell her how long she's gonna be out there.
Oh yeah, they don't.
Because it's okay, she's gonna be out there till she turns 18. She's gonna be out there for a year, a month, a summer.
To school here? Is it I'm 2 weeks off?
Yeah,
you're gonna live there for 2 weeks.
I'm gonna live with her, but for how long? But yes,
hopefully not too long. Because I feel like you can't just be separating their mom and dad with the kids like that.
What you mean?
I feel like the while she's in trouble, Zenon is in trouble, but I feel like it's unreasonable to be I want to, you can't separate me from my child for for too long. Like, I'm gonna send her to Earth, but
I don't. But it wasn't his command. It was theirs. They
right. But I'd be
that.
like, okay, we grounded her. We bring her back.
I mean, yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like, how long is this grounding?
They didn't know neither.
But anywho, so basically they tell her that she is being grounded to Earth and she is going to live with her Aunt Judy for however long. We do not know.
It's just rude. She's never been to Earth. She has nothing but literally her mom feeds her with information that Earth is like a place you're gonna go and die. She's not even saying positive things.
And now she's sending her there.
Right. She's like, there's muggers there and I'm gonna go. Like, what?
Like, why are you doing this to me?
Thanks, Mom. In the next scene, Nebula is hanging out with her and her friends, and they're discussing Zenon's whole punishment thing. While they're talking, Nebula sees like this cute little sparkly thing on the ground. She picks it up. She's like, this would make a great jewelry piece.
Because they love to dumpster dive.
They love
garbage.
But I guess we realize, but Nebula doesn't realize that this is actually the disc that Mr. Lutz dropped the night before. So this is a very kind of important disc. So, in the next scene, Wyndham is giving a speech about how happy he is to see that everything looks good on the spaceship. And he tells everyone that he's going to pledge another $500 million to the space project.
Which I'm trying to figure out how much is $500 million in the year 2040.
Woo! That might as well be $1 billion, girl.
No, it would be less.
Less? $5 million back then?
500 million. No, they're in the future.
Oh, they're in the future. Oh, right.
So $500 million in the year 2049.
Oh, right.
What was that, like $100 million?
Maybe they have a big recession and I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows what happens in 2049, but
maybe monetary value is different in space.
Right.
But anywho, so he pledges $500 million to the space project.
Lot.
And everyone's super excited. Everyone's woo! Hip hip hooray!
Thank God.
Yes, we did it!
Yeah.
Yay!
I'll be excited too.
Woo! Everyone's super happy. And then meanwhile, this is also the time that Zenon is about to hop on this aircraft and head to Earth. And right before she's about to leave, Nebula comes up to her and she's like, did you hear? Mr. Wyndham, he pledged $500 million. Maybe he's not so bad after all.
Yeah.
And Zenon's like, no, I don't think so. He's evil.
Honestly, Nebula, not right now.
Right. Like, no. Are you really trying to rub this in my face right now? Like, as I get on this ship
That's great that you guys get to live here. I'm going to Earth.
Yeah, like $500 million don't make no difference to me no more because I won't be living here.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, please.
And then, so while they have that brief exchange, Nebula tells her bye, and then she also gives her the piece of the jewelry that she made into an earring.
Which is very cute.
It is very cute. I always thought it was
gorgeous. And they're so cool. It's only one, so she only wants there in one ear. She's like, cute.
Yeah, it's like a dangly earring in one ear, and then like she has a stud in the other.
Yeah, she's so cool.
Oh my God, she's such a trendsetter. Zenon was wearing army boots and flip-flops, so I bought army boots and flip-flops.
And then Zenon's basically talking about how scared she is to go on Earth because basically her mom's been telling her it's a terrible place. And then she also sees that she got to ride down there with Mr. Wyndham.
Yes. So then her parents come up and they're like, yeah, we're sending you to Earth, but you also have to ride on the plane with Mr. Lutz and Mr. Wyndham, your arch nemesis.
Right. Like, thanks.
And they're like, you should be grateful he's letting you ride on the plane with him.
Honestly, y'all ain't got no non-him planes that could ride. Like, is this the only shuttle that goes in and off this planet?
Right.
The spaceship?
I guess. Probably. They probably don't have too many, leave the spaceship.
I honestly feel like they should be going to Earth at least once a year.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, at least
it should be required.
Yeah, it should be required. And I think the kids need a field trip.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that they should never experience Earth. It's so weird.
It's like absurd.
It's absurd.
It's honestly absurd. But so before she gets on the plane, her parents tell her to look at this as like a great opportunity and an adventure and yada, 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 yada. So she gets on the plane with Mr. Wyndham and Mr. Lutz and they take off for Earth.
I wonder how long this shuttle is. They never say.
It's gotta be. There's no way that's not like because not only do they have to fly into Earth,
the atmosphere.
They have to fly out of the galaxy, but then once they get into Earth, you've got to fly to whatever part of Earth you're going to. It's like, okay, yeah, now you're in Earth's atmosphere, but you might be in the atmosphere of Canada and you're going to Los Angeles. So you still got to fly then too,
Right. I guess it's got to be at the least like 8 hours.
I feel like it should take a full day.
24 hours.
I think it should be a full 24 hours. But nonetheless, she's landed on Earth. And immediately as she boards off the plane,
Mm-hmm.
do you board off of a plane?
I'm bored. I'm
You board on a plane.
deplaning.
Deplane? Sure.
Just
Excuse
landed.
me.
I don't know.
As soon as she deplanes, she steps out into Earth and she immediately sneezes for the first time. And then she also falls to the ground because she's not used to gravity.
Yeah, it was all too much for her body.
It was a large adjustment. She wasn't ready. And then Mr. Lutz and then Mr. Wyndham walk off the plane beside her. And then she walks up to Mr. Wyndham and is basically like, look, you might be fooling everybody else,
But you don't fool me.
but you don't fool me, sir.
But just like a bold thing to say to somebody.
That is very bold.
I'd be like, girl, what are you talking about? I've only said 10 words to you.
And he's trying to be so nice to her, and he's like, your aunt's gonna pick you up over there.
Honestly,
in Station 1.
I thought that was the craziest part. Not this girl getting on Earth for the first time and no one's going to make sure she meets up with her
She's
aunt.
an unaccompanied minor.
She's an unaccompanied minor in a place she's never been to.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
at
so
least
true.
come pick her up inside.
Right.
What if someone kidnapped her?
That's
She ain't never
very
seen
true.
her aunt. She don't know this lady.
She don't know what Judy looked like.
She don't know what Judy looked like.
But anywho, so he tells her that her aunt's gonna pick her up. She tells him, I'm not fooled by you. And as soon as she says that, she like pushes her hair behind her ear, revealing her earring. And Mr. Lutz sees the earring and has this moment of shock and gasp. And then Zenon walks off and Mr. Wyndham turns to Mr. Lutz and is like, what is wrong with you? And Mr. Lutz is like, oh, nothing. I have everything under control. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Wyndham's like, all right, then let's go. We're going to be late for our meeting.
Because at this moment, I feel like we're all supposed to know this because I'm not spoiling anything. Because Mr. Lutz at this moment realized that is the missing disc that I dropped. She's
that
wearing
he dropped when he was leaving the memory bank.
And this girl's wearing it as an earring.
And she is wearing it as jewelry.
The thing that's going to kill
The
hundreds of people.
The evidence that they need
Yeah.
to disprove that they were doing something illegal
Right.
is on a 13-year-old's earlobe.
Right. And she wearing it as jewelry. I'm about to go to jail. And she wearing it as jewelry.
We going to jail.
Jail. So Zenon goes outside to meet her lovely, happy aunt. She's luckily a very nice person, but her aunt is very happy to see her.
She's really quirky, really awkward,
Yeah.
really
Lonely.
yeah.
She's like this is
Probably has never left wherever they live.
yeah. This is the first person she's talked to in like 10 days.
Right. Pretty much.
And then her and her aunt drive off, and then we see Mr. Lutz in the background like chasing after, and he's like, no.
He's like, I need that
I
earring.
need that.
So then Zenon and her aunt, they go to this pier where they sit down to have lunch, and they're kind of talking, and then Aunt Judy basically asks her, okay, this place has like burgers, fries, pizza. Do you eat any of that stuff? And Zenon's like,
Gross.
no. She's like, all of our food is like homegrown.
Yeah.
No preservatives, no artificial coloring, none of that crap. I only eat the healthiest food that the world could get their hands on.
She honestly, if she would have ate a burger right now, I feel like she would have threw up.
She probably would have exploded.
I think it would have been too much for her system.
Probably so.
Yeah. And it's for the best not to put that in her body. I feel
Yes.
like this also should be something they teach you. Like, if you go to Earth, this is like your dietary restrictions because you've never eaten any of these food. I feel like she's just been thrown into literally a world
A whirlwind of just
that she's never experienced.
correct.
And she needed more like knowledge. It's messed
And
up.
then so while they're sitting down, the table next to them is a group of teenagers, Zenon's age. They're hating from outside the club. One girl in particular. But one boy at the table, he notices her and instantly, as soon as he looks at her, he's like googly eyed and
Girl.
at first sight.
Cannot take his eyes off her.
Could not take this. The second she walked past him, he was like, I'm in love. I'm gonna marry this
It
woman."
was like rude. Like the boy wasn't blinking.
right.
He was like, "Who is that?"
So the young gentleman who's sitting at the table, his name's Greg. He's also sitting at the table with someone named Andrew, another dude named Matt, and then Marnie is the only female at the table. And she notices Greg have googly eyes for Zenon.
Because Greg don't know, but he dating Mark whatever it is. He don't
Greg
know.
don't know it, but he dating Marnie.
Yeah.
Marnie know it, but Greg don't know it.
Greg don't know it.
And Aunt Judy gets up to go wash her hands or something like that. And Marnie, is that her name? Yeah, Marnie is very jealous that Greg keeps on looking at Zenon. So, being the hater and insecure chick that she is, she goes up to Zenon and basically is like, so me and my friends, we have this bet going on that your outfit is either a Halloween costume or you're just
From New Jersey.
weirdo from New Jersey.
Which, ouch.
And then Zenon gives it right back to her. And it's like, it's the Halloween thing, but, lend me that hideous mask that you have on right now, and I'll be sure to win the #1 costume at the costume contest.
Burn.
And the other peers or children, they snicker because now Marnie feels played, and Zenon gets up, she walks away, and she is met by Aunt Judy, and she asks to leave.
It's time to go.
She's like, Cetus-Lupeedus, I don't want to be here
Wait,
anymore.
is her name Marnie or Margie?
Margie.
It's Margie. You don't have to tell us. It's Margie, yes.
We don't have to correct it.
Margie. There it is. Okay.
Something with an M.
Yeah.
Just know she's a hater.
That's all you need to know. Hating as B. So, back at Zenon's aunt's house, the aunt goes to talk to Zenon in her room. She's like, you know what? I know you're not happy to be here, but I'm so glad you are.
Because I don't talk to anybody.
And I don't see my family. She's not going to... We learned that she's never going to space because she's afraid of space and I guess of anything.
She's scared of everything.
Yeah.
Travel, risk-taking, adventure.
Yeah.
Everything that Zenon is not scared of, she's petrified of.
Mm-hmm. She calls Zenon brave, which is very sweet and very sad.
She is brave.
She is brave. And like literally because Zenon's aunt has no children. She was like, I never take risks in my life, so this is what happens.
Oh yeah, and then Zenon brutally asks her. She was like, if you don't mind me asking, like, why aren't you married or have any kids? She's like, because I don't take risks.
It's crazy how honest she is with herself and Zenon.
Right.
She's like,
at least she knows.
She's like, I've been going to therapy about it. Just started last week. And then the aunt leaves the room. She's like, bye, girl. And then at this point, Zenon tries to call Nebula on space, but they done blocked the girl's phone. And the only person that Zenon can call is her mom and her daddy, which is rude.
Yeah, that's messed up.
That's messed up. Okay.
She's real life grounded. Like, you
This
can't even
is
talk
too
to your
much.
friends.
It's being on Earth by myself not enough.
Right.
She could have went down. This could have been really bad for her. Like, at least let me have my friend.
Right.
I think that was messed up.
It is. It's pretty foul.
Yeah.
So then the next day, Zenon starts the first day at school. And Jordan, I don't think that's her real name.
They wrote it down. No, that's what the teacher introduces her.
I know, but I think she was just making like a mistake.
No, I think that's her name, but she goes by Zenon. That's what she said. So the teacher's like,
I know, she's like, this is Zenon Kar. And she's like, actually, it's Zenon. I think she was just calling her an element on like the periodic table or something by mistake.
I don't think so. I think she just goes by Zenon. How do you get radon Kar? She's like
Zenon radon. I think she was getting confused. Like she might as well just called her like aluminum. Like, you know, like
I think that's just a big jump that you're making. She thinks she saw Zenon. She's like, oh, definitely pronounced radon Kar.
I think somebody was like, oh yeah, you got a new kid today in class. They're like, oh, what's her name? I don't know, aluminum foil or some crap like that. And she's like, okay, radon. And then she's like, okay.
I think her birth name is radon Kar. She goes by Zenon.
Maybe. We'll have to agree to disagree. Jordan thinks that her real name is Radon. I think her name is Zenon and that the teacher just made a mistake.
Yeah, you act like Zenon and Radon Kar are both like reasonable. Like, it's the same crazy name.
I mean, they are. Zenon, Radon, aluminum, tin. Like, they're all weird.
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, anyway. So, the kids hear that and they're like, girl, both the names is crazy. And of course, the little Margie.
The person who's making all these snarky comments when Zenon first enters is Margie. The girl who we saw yesterday at the diner.
We keep running into. So they basically
she keeps on making snarky comments like, oh, I hope she has all of her shots, yada, yada, yada. She's hating from outside the club.
Which is crazy because if Space Girl came to my school,
I would want to be her friend so bad.
I'm in that ass.
Tell me everything.
Sit right here.
Yes. Tell me everything. What do y'all eat? How do y'all go to the bathroom?
Do you have a spare of this outfit?
Have you ever seen?
Because I'll take it.
Yes. Do you have a spare of this outfit?
Yeah.
How do I get it?
Right.
You're so cool.
You're so
pretty.
Cool. You're in
my
space.
God. You were wearing army boots and flip flops, so I bought army boots.
This girl's living. Y'all are living in 2013. That girl's living in 2049. Stop playing with her.
So stop hating.
Okay. So the next scene we see, Zenon's at PE, and I guess today this must be a rich school. They're in swim class.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same. Greg is in the class with them, and he is staring down bad at her.
Greg is so into her.
He can't take his eyes off her. And who can't take her eyes off of him? Margie. Why are you looking at her like that?
Yeah,
Look
so
over
Margie
here.
sees Greg looking at Zenon,
I'm right
and Margie
here.
doesn't like it. And then so the PE teacher comes up to Zenon and is like, hey, space girl, can you swim? And then Zenon is like, of course, I can totally swim.
Which is Zenon's thing. She's like, of course I can do that.
Yes. Every time anybody asks her if she can do anything that is very reasonable for a human being to do, like walk or ride a bike
like,
or like fish or something, well, not fish, but like make a sandwich, she's like, yeah, I totally know how to do that. But she doesn't.
She doesn't.
So the PE teacher asks her, hey, can you swim? And she's like, yeah, totally. And then Margie, being the hater that she is, she pushes Zenon into the pool. And of course, Zenon cannot swim because there's no swimming pools on the spaceship.
Yeah,
so she's like in the water trying to like float and like...
She's just like sitting there.
Yeah, she's kind of just like sitting in the water.
Underground. I was like, is she... I don't even know if she's drowning because she's just like... Is this what you do?
Yeah, she's like, am I swimming? She's like under the water. And then Greg jumps in to save her. And he's basically like, I thought you said you could swim. And she's like, yeah, in space. And he's like, welcome to Earth, honey. Learn how to swim.
But what's the difference? I wonder what's the difference. Like, what are y'all doing in space that's different from swimming here?
There's
like,
no gravity, I guess.
Do y'all just walk in the room and just...
I don't know.
What are y'all doing in space?
I don't know. And so Xenon's pissed that he even saved her. And then she's like, I was fine. I was going to be able to figure it out by myself.
Xenon's
and she walks off in anger.
Yeah, she's a know-it-all. So next scene, she's in chemistry class. And she's partying out with Margie. Ugh. And Zenon is like, they're heating up some like kind of tube tester. And Xenon's like, okay...
Some kind of chemical.
Yeah, chemical. She's like, increase the temperature, increase the temperature, increase the temperature.
And Marnie's like, girl, I don't know. This thing look like it's getting pretty hot.
Yeah. And she's like, no, I'm right. I'm reading it right. Do it. And then the temperature's too high, obviously. And there's an explosion in a small fire. And the teacher's like, what were you doing? She's like, I read the instructions right. I had it in so-and-so Celsius. And teacher's like, girl, we use Fahrenheit down here.
And so
Ouch.
another opportunity for her to just look like... She don't know what's going on.
But why?
Here.
But who told her to be in charge of reading the temperature? I'm sure she volunteered that. She's such a know-it-all. But I'm like, girl, give me that temperature. You don't know.
But it's just like, why would she? I would have never thought like, oh, let me make sure it's in Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Which is
like she just knows what she knows.
I'm really upset that her parents, okay, fine, ground her, but don't send her down there not knowing nothing.
Right. Did y'all not give her a play-by-play?
Is there no like a Earth textbook, like a how-to she can read real quick?
Earth for Dummies.
Yeah. She needs to be a year behind, honestly.
So she does. So next we're at lunch and she's very confused by the assortment of food that is in the cafeteria. She's very confused by bananas and oranges and she's like, what is this?
Which is actually really funny because it's not like it's a hamburger. She's like, y'all can't grow fruit up there?
Right. It would have been different. It was like lasagna.
Yeah.
She's like, what is this foreign object? And it's literally an apple.
It's an orange and an apple. Girl.
And so as soon as she gets to the counter, the cashier is like, that'll be $150. Which she's like, 150 what? And she's like, oh my God, money, you mean money.
Human
and
money,
then
yes.
She doesn't have any money because her parents have left her very ill prepared.
And her aunt.
So then Greg comes up being, you know, the Prince Charming that he is.
Captain
and he pays
Save-A-Ho.
for her lunch. And he's like, here, like, I got you. And then she's like, I'm fine. Like, I can really handle myself. I promise, Greg.
She's very mad. I feel like she's projecting.
Yeah. He's just trying to.
He's just trying to
woo her.
She's putting her anger out on him.
First of all, Zenon is very much an independent woman. She doesn't need anybody, so that's probably another reason.
Yes, because on Earth, on space, she's figured it out.
Yeah, that's probably why she's not, you know, responding to his advances. And then, you know, she is projecting.
And it's just a lot.
It is a lot.
Because no one prepared her for this. She doesn't want to be here, and all this stuff is weird.
Yes. So basically, she clicks out on Greg for the second time, and she's like, "Just leave me alone."
Right.
And he's like, "Whatever."
Fine. He's so nice. He's like, "I think it's cool that you're from space." She's like, "Shut up! Yeah, go away! Leave me alone. Get out of here!" Yes.
But poor thing.
So back at school, I guess Zenon's aunt came to pick her up, and she's basically telling her aunt, I should have listened to Nebula. I should have left the Wyndham situation alone. And if I had listened to her, I wouldn't be missing the concert. I wouldn't be here with you fools. And now my life is crap. And her aunt is like actually really listening to her and all this stuff. She's like, and then Zenon brings up the whole fact that she doesn't trust Wyndham again. And her aunt was like, is there someone you can talk to? Blah, 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 blah. She's like, literally, my parents don't believe me. No one else is going to believe me. Which is really sad because I feel like her aunt kind of is like, at least trying to like.
She's hearing her out.
Yeah, she's hearing her out. She doesn't think she's lying about the situation. But as they enter their home, they notice that the door is like cracked, and they walk inside. Ajar. And the whole house has been ransacked.
Yeah, ransacked.
What I said?
Rancid.
Ransack, and it smells bad in there. So a couple minutes later, they walk around and they notice that nothing is missing. They call the police. She's like, it's weird, nothing's missing. And Zenon is in her head. She's like, I just know that Wyndham's behind this. I don't know how, but I mean, that is kind of weird.
Yeah,
like your house had never been
your house burglarized, but nothing's been taken.
It's so weird, and it's like actually.
I mean, that only means they were looking for something, not trying to steal something,
right? And actually, did not have to do all that. They tore her house up.
They didn't, but it's like when you're looking for something that small, you do have to kind of. It'd have been different if they were looking for something big. They wouldn't have to do that, but they're looking for a disc the size of a nickel.
I feel like they should have hired like real experts, and like I would have preferred if someone breaks into my house looking for something and not stealing anything to make it look like everything is back in its place, like you never came.
Yeah,
but they're not professionals. Whatever. So back at school, Zenon, it must be like study hall or something like that. Zenon is trying to break into the Wyndham corporate company website, but she can't get in. And then she looks over and she sees Greg and he's typing hard. And for whatever reason, she's like, oh yeah, he know how to break into computers. I don't know how she comes up with that.
I don't know how she comes up with that conclusion.
Yeah, assumes that. But he's over there typing hard and she's like, him.
That one.
So she goes over to him and she's like, sorry for everything, but I need your help.
I need your help with major.
Yes. And he's like, girl.
He's like, the last time I tried to help you, he said I got verbally assaulted. Like, why should I help you now?
Calm down, Greg.
Like, literally, calm down.
And she's like, I'm sorry. It's not about you. I've been going through a lot. He's like, oh, it's kind of sad. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, basically, like, I can't right now because I got to go to work. But he was like, but do you want to join me? I work on like, not a farm, a ranch or something like that with horses. Do you want to come with? And at first she's like, no. And she was like, well, are these real horses? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, I never seen a horse before, which is crazy. Because she should see a horse before. Anyway.
Not when you live on a spaceship.
Yeah.
And then so they make their way to the stables. It smells like horse. She's really nervous. She's like, what's that smell? Why are they so big? What's going on? And he's like, do you want to pet it? And she's like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, keep it in there.
And then he's like, it's not that big of a deal. Just like brush the horse. So he shows her how to brush the horse. They have like this little intimate moment.
It's real, teach me how to play pool. You know?
Yeah, it's real like adorable. And then he's like, do you want to get on the horse? And she's like, now you're pushing it. I don't know. And he's like, come on. So then they get on the horse. They have this cute little horseback ride. He takes her to the beach. He shows her the beach and she's like, oh my God, I've never seen the ocean before. They have this really like sentimental romantic date.
Yeah,
and it's
so cute.
kind of adorable.
So
because never in my life have I ever been on a horse with a boy and he's taking me to the beach. This girl's only 13 and she's been on the earth for 3 days and she's already getting everything that I've never had.
Right. She's a cute girl. So are you. Sorry.
Thanks.
So the next scene we see that Greg and Zenon are riding bikes now, and Greg is like, do you know how to ride a bike? Zenon's like, of course, we all know this is going. She takes off on the bike, immediately falls. She's like, I know how to ride a bike in space, but they're stationary, so
that doesn't really work here. Sorry.
Yeah. Zenon, let it go. We know you can't do nothing on Earth. It's not a you thing. It's an Earth thing.
And then so next, they've actually had a very full day. These two. They went horseback riding, now they're bike riding. And now Greg has taken her out to eat on a date.
A real gentleman.
And now she has really grown accustomed to American food. And she is diving into the onion rings, the french fries, the pizza, the burgers. And she's like, what else can we order? And he's like, slow down. I do not have enough money for you to order everything.
I love he was like, girl, stop.
Yeah,
he's like, take that menu.
He's like, chill out. He's like, I really need you to like relax. My credit card limit is only $50.
5 plates of food in front of her.
Yes.
And she was like, she just got one more and she was trying to find something else to eat. He's like,
I agreed to take you out on a date not to stop world hunger. Stop eating everything on this menu.
chill out.
And then she's like, okay, sorry. And then they're having like a little conversation. And then she looks to the left and she sees Mr. Lutz standing somewhere at like the bottom of the restaurant. And she's like, oh my God, he's here. And then Greg's like, who's here? And she's like, Lutz, I just saw him. And then she looks over again and he's gone. And she's like, we have to go, Greg. We've got to go.
Right now.
And they skedaddle.
Yes, he's skedaddle. It's so weird that he's following this little girl. There's a better way to do this.
A much better way, but for the sake of the movie.
I don't know. Excuse me. So, next scene, Greg and Zenon are by the water. They're like...
They're by some pier, yeah.
At the pier. Zenon sticks her foot in the water of the ocean for the first time. She's like, oh my God, it's cold. And he's like, what did you think it was? She's like, I have no idea. She's new to this. So, then Greg shows her that he was able to break into the Wyndham company website, and he sees that the company basically has no money.
Pause. Why?
This is how to do this.
Why is a 13-year-old boy capable of hacking into a probably Fortune 500 company database website?
Right.
Like, why was he able to do that? He's 13 years old. Why does he's like, oh yeah, that was super easy. I got it. Click here, press here, enter there, code over there to the left. And now I'm in. What?
The only thing I could say, which I have a reason to diminish what I'm about to say, is that maybe in 2049, there's a big thing on technology, and the kids just know technology.
Maybe.
But the other opposite of that is that the adults who make the technology should be better how to make technology kids more, not to get into it. Yeah. That's the other counter.
Because he literally gets in there with ease. So he tells her that the company basically has no money. And then Zenon's like, okay, so why is he donating $500 million to the spaceship if he has no money?
No moolah.
And that's basically what they're trying to figure out. And then they realize that Lutz...
Because he's like, why is Lutz following you, blah, blah, blah. She was like... He made a weird face when I left him earlier. And he was like, tell me everything that you did. And he's like, I just flipped my hair. And he's like, what's that on your ear? And she's like, oh my God, it's a disc.
Yeah, so basically they make the realization that he's after...
It's too easy how they figured it out. It's just way too easy.
They figured it out in like all of 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was way too easy.
So they make the realization that Mr. Lutz is in fact after Zenon's earring.
Which is the disc.
Which is the disc that they really never make it clear. But I guess the disc contains like proof of their evil doing. So they need the disc and they need it destroyed.
Yeah.
So they don't have proof that what they're doing is illegal.
Murder.
Murder.
So the two are biking home, and right when they get to the Zenon's aunt house, it starts raining, and Zenon is like, what the hell is that? And he's like, It's
rain. Chill out.
Yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, I remember rain, because she only went to the spaceship when she was 5. So she should have some memories, but not too many. So she's like, I remember this. She goes stand in the rain. She does the whole twirl thing in the rain. He meets her in the rain. They're like looking at each other, and they have a really cute moment, but they don't kiss.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't kiss. The aunt, as Greg is leaving, the aunt comes out and she's like, girl, you've been on me for 5 days and you got a man. And she's like,
you've had more action than I've ever had. Same here, Judy. Same here.
I need to get out.
Whatever.
I need to get alcohol. So the next day, they bring the disc to Andrew, because apparently Greg ain't smart enough to break into the disc. They need another 13-year-old who specializes in discs. He's also X-ray and holes. Yeah. Before this is a movie he needed them big old glasses in, because he's a nerd. This makes more sense. Right. But they commission Andrew to try to break into the disc. While they're at Andrew's house, Margie's also there. She's bored. She wants to hang out with Greg, and Greg ain't giving her no play.
She's literally like, hey Greg, do you want to take a ride on my dad's hovercraft limousine? And Greg's like, no. He's just not into her. Yeah. He's not into you, Margie. And she's like, you used to want to take a ride on my dad's hovercraft limousine all the time before she got here. And then one of the other kids is like, Margie, sweetie, I hate to break it to you, but he was after the car, not you.
Drag her.
But back at work, Andrew is trying to figure out what's going on with like the disc.
He can't figure it out.
Can't figure it out. Zenon steps away to get away from Margie because she's sick and tired of hearing her annoying voice.
She's not used to this.
She's not used to Mean Girls.
She grown.
And so Margie follows her and basically tells Zenon that her dad is friends with like the managers or the higher up people who take care of microbe and protozoa, and that she will let them know that their contest winner is in fact not on the spaceship. And basically she's like, stay away from Greg or I'm gonna tell
I won't need to do that.
The microbe people that you are not here.
Zenon's like, girl, I don't have time.
She's like, I'm not worried about
my family. My friends and family are literally going to die. Get out of my face. So that happens. And then we see Andrew. I guess he was working on the disc thing all night. And we see that he's sleeping at his desk. And he wakes up to see that the disc is actually a virus that crashes his computer. And so the next day, he brings this information to Zenon and Greg, and he's like, this was a virus, and he was able last night to turn the chip into an undo virus disk. And he's basically like, the only way I can see if this works is if you use it on the spaceship. She's not in the spaceship, but she's going to have to get there. And then Andrew's basically like, it's a very strong virus, but the reason why it hasn't crashed the spaceship yet, is because the system up there is very powerful and it's just taking its time to like mess everything up.
So I think this whole part was very confusing when I was watching the movie. So basically, from my own understanding, so when Mr. Lutz went into the, what was it called? The main memory bank, he installed a virus that will cause the ship to malfunction and ultimately just deteriorate completely. That's what he was doing in there. And the disc had all that information on it. And he needed the disc so he could destroy it or something like that so they won't go to jail.
Well, because like Andrew also was able to figure out this is a virus disc. And if someone was smart enough, they would put two and two together.
Yes.
So he needs to destroy that evidence.
So Andrew's saying that he has the disc now and he was able to put an undo virus on the disc. And in order to see if it works, is only possible if Zenon installs the now undo disc onto the spaceship that is now plagued with a virus that will ultimately be destroyed by the virus that has been installed onto it by Mr. Lutz. So, and the reason why they're doing this is because Wyndham Enterprises has no money. And they're going to let the ship go down and be destroyed so that they can collect the insurance money because his corporation has no money. So he plans to murder hundreds and millions, not hundreds of millions, but hundreds, maybe 1,000 people, innocent people.
Corporate greed, man.
Corporate greed.
Just file for.
I hope that made sense because watching the movie, I was like, what's going on here?
I feel like you were trying to make this child movie make sense. Just let it happen.
I just didn't understand what was the disc. Like, they didn't explain the disc good enough. I was like, what's the point of the
Disney movie for 13-year-olds did not explain?
It's like, what's the point of the disc?
That's it.
If the virus is already on the ship, why, what is the significance of the disc?
It's just evidence.
Why do we need the disc? But
evidence.
No, I decided on my own that the disc contains evidence because they never said that.
Oh yeah, and also maybe a child can take the disc and put an undo on it and reverse everything that we're doing, like this boy did. But so Zenon figures this out because Andrew told her everything, and she calls her parents immediately to relay this information, but they don't buy it. They're like, blah, 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 blah.
They're like, you're down at Earth. We see you've got a new friend over here. Hang out with them. Right. Everything over here is fine. And blase.
Besides the fact that she's saying, like, the spaceship should start shutting down, they're literally ignoring her. And even in the background, we see the dad say, like, I'm having, like, system problems, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, we're fine.
Yeah.
And then, like, she's like, and then her parents are like, why would he want to do this? Because they were like, why would he want the spaceship to crash? Like,
he owns
doesn't make any sense.
He just pledged $500 million.
And at this point, Zenon doesn't have an answer to that just yet. She's like, yeah, that's true. I don't know why, but that's what he's up to. And they just start thinking that she just wants to come back for the concert. And
they're like, we know what game you're playing. You just want to come back for that protozoa concert.
It's just the worst. They're the worst. they honestly should believe her. Like, she's not making all this up anymore. So the parents get called away and they have to hang up. And then we see the parents on the spaceship and they're basically discussing, how the hell does Zenon know that we're having all these system failures? And they're walking around, the spaceship looks a mess. It's smoke everywhere. People are trying to do repairs.
They're shaking.
They're shaking. There was literally a big shake.
Yeah, there's booms, there's blams. Like, the spaceship looks like it's in disarray.
And they have the nerve to be like, why? If she was saying that this is causing this and they're having that, why wouldn't they believe her?
Right. And they're like, how does she know that the ship's falling apart?
And like, she can't talk to Nebula. Who's telling her?
So, them being the horrible parents that they are,
really bad parents.
they go about their business. And,
like, damn, she right, but like,
right.
we don't know why.
Back at Zenon's aunt's house, however, she's at the house with Greg, and she's like, I can't believe my parents don't believe me, yada, yada, yada.
It's messed up.
Then Mr. Lutz shows up at Zenon's aunt's house, and he's like, for a girl who's been on Earth for like 2 freaking seconds, you're impossible to find. And he's basically like, I need the disc back. Don't worry about what's on it. Nothing important. Nothing that would ever interest you. Right. I just need it back.
It's boring business information.
Yes. And Zenon is like, okay, fine. I'll give you the disc back if you promise me a ride back to my spaceship. And Mr. Lutz is like, okay, fine. So she makes the deal with the devil. And Greg is basically like, no, don't do it. And she's like, Greg, have a little faith. It'll be fine. So she gives Mr. Lutz the disc. And she's like, okay, so I can have like a ride to the spaceship, right? And he's like, no, you idiot. Of course you can't. I've got my disc and you have nothing. I'm out of here. Bye.
Wow, just to like renege on a deal with a 13-year-old is messed up.
It just really speaks to his character.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's for the best that he didn't put her on a ship that was going to explode, but what a douche. So, right after that, Zenon, they meet up with Andrew again, and this time Zenon has another request for Andrew, the genius that he is. She wants him to unlock her like phone tablet thing so she can call Nebula. And then she reveals basically to them that she gave Lutz a fake disc. This one is actually just jewelry. She didn't give him the real thing. It was just like this fake disc that she
fooled him. She played him.
Right. And then after that, we see Lutz at the office. He's putting the disc in his computer. And then he sees like a little trash can pop up with Zenon's face. And then he realizes that he has a fake disc. And then he finally needs to tell Wyndham everything that has happened. And Wyndham is like, in the background we hear, or like as they zoom away, we hear him like, what do you mean you lost the disc?
Yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah.
He's in trouble.
Yeah. So at this point, Zenon is able to call Nebula and basically tell her everything that's going on. And then Nebula is telling her, like, yeah, the spaceship is actually messing up. Everyone's concerned. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Nebula gives her the real tea.
Yeah.
She's like, this is a crap show.
Yeah.
Like, this place is really falling apart.
We don't know what's going on. And then Zenon tells Nebula everyone's in danger, and she asks Nebula to break into the cargo area so she can look at the cargo schedule and see when the next shuttle is coming or leaving Earth to go to the spaceship, so that she can hop on the spaceship and go there. And that's Zenon's plan. And before she like does all this, she leaves a video voice message to her aunt, kind of being vague and be like, I have to go help Earth. Thank you for everything. Love you. I need to save my spaceship. Yeah.
Not Earth.
Oh, I need to save the spaceship. Yeah. I need to get off Earth and save the spaceship. Yes.
So, that night on the spaceship, Nebula brings Theo with her to the cargo ship area to check out when the next cargo shipment will be coming. So they get in there, they sneak in there to see the schedule. Then they realize that the next cargo ship will be coming within the next couple of hours that night. But before she's able to contact Zenon and let her know that the ship has a power outage.
Because it's slowly breaking down.
Because it is slowly deteriorating. Because it has a virus on it.
Yes. So, back at, I think it's Andrew's house, Zenon and Greg and the gang are hanging out. Zenon's talking to Greg. And Zenon's basically like, why hasn't Nebula contacted me back? It's been like 3 hours, I believe. But she doesn't know that Nebula is stuck in a blackout on the spaceship. But at this point, Greg is like, I'm really going to miss you when you go, back to space. And Zenon's basically like, he's talking all this blah, blah, blah. Boy, kiss me.
Kiss me already, Greg.
Kiss me already.
Kiss me.
So he's like, okay. So he leans in for a kiss. They like hit heads, bump heads, or bump lips or something like that. And
horrible attempt.
Yeah, it was a horrible attempt. It doesn't really work out. And she's like, or they're like, let's try again. But right before they kiss this time, Nebula finally calls and she's like, hey, there's a ship that leaves Earth to come to the spaceship in less than an hour. You need to go.
So they hurry up. They all get into Andrew's dad's self-driving car. Think a modern-day Tesla.
Yeah, like a Tesla.
So it's Andrew, it's Greg, it's Zenon, it's this other kid, Matt, who we've seen from time to time.
Right.
And then Margie comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, before you leave, didn't I tell you, Zenon, to stay away from Greg? And Zenon is like, I'm getting real sick of you. Greg's a big boy. Okay?
Talk to him.
I'm getting in the car.
Right.
And then Greg gives her the real, and he's like, Margie, Zenon or no Zenon? Today, tomorrow, yesterday, I have never been and will never be your boyfriend. I am not into you.
Ouch. But like,
and this
facts.
girl does not know how to take a no for an answer. And she's like, I mean, but like, can we talk about this later? Like, is this a definite answer? You know, you just seem really upset right now. I'll give you a minute.
Is this tense? I feel the tense.
And then Andrew was like, hey, hate to break up this moment. Zenon has to get back on the ship and we only have like an hour to do it. And Margie's like, oh my God, Zenon's leaving? Well, I have to say goodbye. So then Margie hops in the car and it's like 5 little preteens in the car going to this cargo ship to get Zenon back to space.
Yes. So after all this, they arrive just in time to see the shuttle take off. Womp womp. Zenon's bombed. The whole team's bombed. And at this point...
Yep, they missed the ship.
Yeah. Margie makes a point that it's going to be like crazy tomorrow when everyone finds out that Megazoa?
You're mixing protozoa and microbe.
Oh, protozoa and his band blew up in space. And Zenon is like... That perfect. I can ride up to space with the band, and then that's how I get back on the space station, or whatever.
So that morning, Zenon and the crew, they break into whatever place that Protozoa was at. I don't know. He's at some like center or some crap. I mean, he's like doing like some conference or like press tour because they're about to go into space. So he's like doing that or whatever. So Zenon and the crew, they break in. She sneaks backstage and basically tells Protozoa, she's like, hey, I'm the contest winner. I'm the person who just won the contest. You're going to be seeing me up in space, but I'm actually here on Earth with you.
I'm looking at you right now.
But I'm here on Earth with you, and I kind of need a ride up there. And after some convincing, he's very sweet about it, and he's like, darling, love, of course you can come up to space with me, my #1 fan.
I think he might be the it person of this whole movie.
Like, he is.
Him.
He's great.
He's great.
He's got great energy. He's so kind. He's so sweet.
Love him.
And then right before he like basically tells her yes, these like bodyguards are like, no, she's like a trespasser. And then he's basically like, fellas, are you going to be up Wyndham's butt your entire lives? Or are you gonna get down with rock and roll?
Rock and roll, man.
And so they're like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. So basically, she's granted access to get onto the ship with him, and they quickly board the plane without Wyndham and Mr. Lutz noticing.
No hiccups.
Mm-hmm. Because at this press conference, Wyndham and Lutz are also there, just in case you didn't know that.
Yes. So as Zenon is boarding the shuttle, or after Zenon's boarding the shuttle, and they see Protozoa boarding the shuttle, Lutz is complimenting Mr. Wyndham on his plan to have the spaceship explode with a popular band on it to distract people and get them away from like pointing the finger at him or like thinking it was his idea.
Yeah, because the whole time I was like, okay, this all makes sense, like, yeah, but I was like, what is the point of having this
popular band on it?
I was just like, it's like, hey, like, I want to kill all these people, but also like, let me have the Beatles get on the band with them and kill them too. I was like, what's the point of that? But I guess that makes a little bit more sense, like to have them on there,
because people are like, be like, oh my God, the Beatles died.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect foul play in that situation, I guess.
Yeah.
So Mr. Lutz basically commends him for his clever plan.
Could you imagine, like, that was a great plan to kill those people and then some more people.
just evil and twisted.
Murder.
Horrible.
Murder.
So meanwhile, Aunt Judy is like, okay, I've got to find my niece. So she goes to this conference center, wherever the hell they're at, to find Zenon, and she's looking for Zenon. She gets there, and she runs into Wyndham and Lutz, and she's like, hey, excuse me, have y'all seen my niece?
How does she know what they look like? She ain't never seen them.
That is very true. How does she know what they look like?
Okay, but yeah.
Plot holes.
Yeah.
And they're basically like, no, we haven't seen your little troublemaker niece.
Yeah.
And then as they all kind of say that, they see Zenon board the plane with Protozoa.
Well, they don't see her.
Oh, is that what? I don't know.
The aunt's like, there's no way that she was like, my niece would do anything to be on board with that plane. Like, she's got to be somewhere around here because there's no way to stop her from getting on this spaceship. And at that point, they're like, this girl already on the spaceship.
Oh,
because they see,
yeah,
they see
like, she's on the plane.
Yeah, she's already on the plane. Which they're like, we need to get on that plane.
So all three of them run to get on the plane with Protozoa. And remember, the spaceship's supposed to blow up in like
T-minus.
in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So Wisdom and Lutz had no intention on being on any plane going towards that spaceship because they know what's really going down and they know what's really about to happen.
Yeah.
So that was never their intention. But they all make their way to get on the spacecraft to stop Zenon.
I guess they get on it because they're trying to stop. Because they probably, at this point, they're like, this girl is probably going to ruin this for us.
Right, because she was going to try and stop the plane.
Yeah, and they probably
so in
realized
order
that.
to stop her,
They got to
get on the plane.
But still, I'd been like, I ain't going on that plane. I don't care.
Right, I'd have been like, you know what, I'm just going to let it all play.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're just going to hope she fails. Because I'm not getting on that
plane.
spacecraft.
Exactly.
I'm not doing it.
Because if she doesn't succeed, great, we all die. But if she doesn't succeed, I'm going to Mexico.
Right.
If she does,
if she fails, great, we did our job.
Yeah.
But I'm not risking this.
Yeah.
Bro.
If I get on that plane, it's a lose-lose.
it's literally a lose-lose.
Right. They get on the spaceship, so they get on it right before it takes off. So Wyndham and Lutz, by the force of the plane taking off, they like accidentally fall into like this like closet, and Zenon sees this. She rides down, she locks him in there, and then she finds her aunt, who's terrified because I don't know if you mentioned earlier, she's terrified of planes and
Of everything.
of everything
life,
being
of
in
air,
space,
of grass.
Yeah, and Zenon basically catches her aunt up on everything because her aunt is a lovely person and believes Zenon, unlike her freaking parents. Back on the spaceship, everything is malfunctioning. It's getting really bad. The ship is shaking again, and basically no one knows why. And the commander is, at this point, he's like, okay, the band's coming. I remember somebody saying that.
Right. His like right-hand man is like, okay, not to, make matters worse, but this like international pop band that has like the whole world looking at us is also on the way. And he's like, great.
Okay, right.
And so he basically tells somebody, he's like, reroute them, send them back to Earth, like they can't come here. And then someone basically tells him, like, no, we can't do that because they won't have enough fuel to get back. He's like, so the person telling him is basically like, they have to come here because they have to at least refuel up because they can't go anywhere else.
And the commander says something like that. He says something like, if we don't figure this out, we're all gonna die.
Yeah, and she's like, they can't. He's like, the person's like, they won't be able to make it back home. And he's like, if we don't figure this out, none of us will make it home.
Honestly,
we're all gonna die.
There should be, because there's no way that there's not like some policy in place where like if 50% of the system is messing up, some people need to be getting off the spaceship.
Yeah,
there's no need to have everyone on here. They all need to be. The same time the band is coming, the people on the spaceship need to be leaving.
Right. It's like y'all all waited entirely too long to like try to like
y'all not gonna save
out.
people. It's so messed up.
Yeah. So the
die.
spaceship is literally on its last leg.
Yes.
And basically, if the ship totally if they have
a total system
failure, then the entire ship will crash and everyone will basically die. So on the shuttle or on the plane, Zenon is basically like playing cards with Protozoa, and
she's kicking his ass.
She's also winning, and she's kind of like filling them in. She's like basically like, yeah, the plane's kind of like malfunctioning right now, but don't worry, I kind of got it all under control.
She's like downplaying. They're all downplaying the future crash of this plane.
She's like, don't you worry your pretty little head, Protozoa. I've got it all taken care of.
Which is messed up.
He's like, okay.
Someone should have told him not to get on that plane.
Yeah.
So as they arrive, Protozoa and the band, they like step off the plane. They've only been on there for like 5 seconds, and it shakes hard.
It's shaking. The lights are flickering. Smoke in the air. Someone introduces them. She like welcomes them on the plane. She's like, "Hi, welcome. This is normal here. Don't fret. This is normal." And they're all very concerned. The entire band is very worried.
This is messed up. So Zenon takes off to, I guess, try to solve this problem. And of course, just like at the beginning of the movie, she runs into Commander running. And he's very surprised to see her. He's like, literally, there's so much going on. And now you're back on this freaking spaceship? And Zenon tries to explain everything to him, but he doesn't believe her. She's like, I don't have time for this. She runs off, and then he sees Zenon's aunt, Auntie Judy. And he's like, hold on,
Who is this striking creature?
Sir.
It's like a love at first sight.
But sir, we don't have time for this.
We don't.
We don't have time for your love interest.
But they literally like lock eyes and they fall in love.
Hopefully this will calm him down.
But it doesn't. So while he's like struck in by Aunt Judy's beauty, Wyndham and Lutz also get off the plane and they run into Commander. And basically, Zenon and Wyndham and Lutz are all screaming at the Commander. And Zenon's like, no, he's the reason why the ship's failing. And then Wyndham and Lutz is like, no, we're trying to stop her because she's bad. And then they're all going back and forth. And the Commander is like, everyone be quiet. And then Wyndham and Lutz is like, hey, we got to get off this ship. By the way, like, while I have you here, I need you to understand that, like, I'm on this spaceship, but I need to get off of it immediately.
But it's still fueling.
And Commander's like, yeah, sure. And then Zenon's like, of course you have to get off the ship because you're trying to take it down. Mm-hmm. And the Commander tells somebody to put Aunt Judy and Zenon into his like office and basically lock them in there. And then the Commander takes Lutz and Wyndham into his private VIP area.
Stupid.
Where they can rest peacefully.
How you gonna tell someone to go sit in a VIP when you know the ship about to explode?
Right.
Go sit in the VIP and die there peacefully. Thanks. So, Greg, while all this is going on,
Who is Greg?
Greg? That's his name?
The boyfriend. I said, girl, who is Greg? Who is that?
So Greg calls Zenon for updates, and he's like, what's going on? Tell me everything. So Zenon tells, she tells Greg, put Andrew on a phone. Because Andrew, apparently, he blocked her from making local calls, so she can't make calls to Nebula while she's on the spaceship or whatever. So he's like, call Nebula and tell her to call me, or tell her to
bust us out.
Yeah.
Of Commander's office.
So Nebula gets all her friends. They do the whole like shaft thing. What do you call it? The
climb up the air shaft.
The air shafts, the air vents, which is it's like their thing to do. And they get into the Commander's office and they break Zenon and the aunt out. And Zenon is like, okay, I'm gonna go to the main memory frame and fix all this. And the aunt goes somewhere. I don't really know where she goes.
We're not worried about her anymore.
So while Zenon's going to go fix it, Wyndham tries to get on the shuttle so he can leave. But at this point, no one's leaving. The systems have failed enough that you cannot leave this place.
You can't get off.
Yeah,
and then Mr. Lutz comes up behind him and he's like, I just really want to commend you again for your excellent plan. But you just missed one little caveat. We weren't supposed to be on the spaceship when it goes down.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then Wyndham is like, look, bro, we all make mistakes. I don't know what you want me to do here. Like,
you got on this shit the same time I got on this shit.
Right.
So if you
boarded the plane just like me, bro.
Exactly.
So, meanwhile, Zenon runs to the main memory bank. Commander Plank is already in there trying to figure out what's going on. His little assistant is basically like, we have 30 seconds until this ship goes down. Terrible. 30 seconds, this thing is going down and we're all going to die.
I wonder, though, would it really explode or would they, like, be thrown into gravity or, like, be, like, at the universe is, like, just, like, floating endlessly.
That is true. What would have happened? Would have pulled apart?
Or like, would they have lost oxygen? Maybe they would have lost oxygen, all the things that keep them alive or something. Because I'm like, I can imagine like the system fell.
Yeah, it might have just went hurling.
Oh,
like maybe. A meteor.
Oh, okay, maybe.
And it like got hot and like caught on fire. I can see that. Everybody would have burned.
So I'm like, it can't just explode because the microwave won't open. Like I don't understand. Yeah, but that makes more sense.
That'd have been interesting. Yeah. But anywho, so they have literally 30 seconds until complete system failure, and then the spaceship will go down and everyone will die. And Zenon's parents are in the room and they're freaking out. And then Zenon busts in and she's like, I got this. And they're like, no. And she's like, seriously? Like,
you got
what do we have to lose? Exactly. We have 30 seconds left. Literally, trust me. And then she's like typing in the little system memory bank computer, and she's like press in and type in. And then she's also giving them the rundown, and she basically tells them the reason why this is all happening is because none of you would believe me, and that Wyndham and Lutz inserted a virus on the spaceship to collect insurance money because their corporation has no money, but I'm here to save the day. Click clack.
What I didn't understand, I was like, so now you have to have a code to enter the thing? I was
so
like, okay, whatever.
she's like on the computer now all of a sudden so she's trying to insert the antivirus that Andrew gave her.
Right.
Why was a 13-year-old boy able to craft an antivirus to
give him a
to
scholarship
save an entire spaceship? I don't know. He belongs at MIT, but whatever.
Yeah.
So she's like trying to put it in, but for whatever reason you need a code and she can't figure out the code, and she's like telling them the story while typing, and she's like, I've got this. And that's like, system failure, 5 seconds. She's still typing. And she's still getting the code wrong. System failure, 2 seconds. And she's still typing, yada, yada, yada. On the last second, she gets the code correct. Mm-hmm. The system kind of like shuts down.
For a little bit.
And they're like, did we do it? Are we saved? Are we okay?
Okay.
It kind of goes pitch black. Even the screen.
Our screen.
Even the TV screen went pitch black.
Right. It's kind of scary.
And then the system is restored. We have restoration. We're back in business, baby. Zenon did it. She saved the day. With the help of Andrew, I really think Andrew deserves all the credit because he created the antivirus. All she did was get on the plane and put it in the computer or whatever.
Facts. Thank you, my brother.
He's really the savior of the galaxy, but whatever. But yeah, so Zenon and Andrew saved the day.
Yeah.
They saved the day.
And finally, the freaking mom and dad are proud of her.
Yeah, they finally are decent parents.
Yes. The commander has Lutz and Wyndham arrested as they enter the room. They're like, are we okay? And you're like, nigga, let's get out. Boy, are you serious?
You're literally going to prison. Get out of here.
You're the reason why this happened.
Right.
He was going to let them die. That's so messed up.
That is horrible.
Now it'd be one thing if they had like a plan where everyone evacuates the spaceship and then the spaceship comes crumbling down, but still people would have died because like where's the spaceship land? But like the fact that he was just okay with these people dying.
Right. Yeah, it would have been one thing if you tried to evacuate the spaceship first.
Yeah.
But no.
They ain't got
You
that.
didn't try that.
No.
He's like too much money.
Yeah.
So, if you forgot, there's also supposed to be a concert taking place here on the spaceship. So now that the galaxy has been saved
and the party doesn't stop.
The party doesn't stop here. We're fast forwarding to the next scene, and we are now at the Protozoa microbe concert. Woo! And we are hearing
Putting me in overdrive, speed of light, I'm so alive. Could you be my supernova girl? Interplanetary, megastellar, hydrostatic, there's no gravity between us. Our love is automatic. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart go, my supernova girl. Make my heart go, my supernova girl.
And then so right before they finish performing, Protozoa is basically like, and I want to give one incredible thank you to the girl who saved the galaxy, Zenon Kar. And then he's also going on about how she had 2 requests. Mm-hmm. One, which was
to donate this, not donate the song.
Oh, to dedicate this next song to a very lucky young man, Greg. So,
he didn't even say his last name. He was just like, Greg. You know who you are.
You know who you are, Greg. So,
I guess so.
He had dedicated the song to Greg on Zenon's behalf. And then the second request was that
Zenon asked me to pass her winning dance on to somebody she says is always there for, without question, up for every adventure she ever proposes. Everything a BF should be. Nebula. According to Zenon, you're the true winner, Major. So why don't you come on up there? Come on!
Not Zenon. Because when you really think about it, Zenon's had her time. She was on a plane with him for like a day.
Yes.
So, Nebula, here's your shot,
Get up
girl.
there.
Get up there. And she gives like this really sweet speech about Nebula and how great of a best friend she is. And it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, Nebula gets on stage. She's having a rocking time.
I do also want to point out that during this part, the aunt and the commander are over there chilling, they vibing. They're like, they're gonna date. She might live in space. Who knows?
But yeah,
the end.
Woo!
Yeah.
So
That's
all is well in the spaceship galaxy of who knows where the hell we are, the Milky Way. I don't know. Thanks to Zenon Kar and Andrew.
Right. The galaxy is ours.
The galaxy is saved. She is now the girl of the 21st century. She is the girl who saved space. Mm-hmm. And
awesome.
Andrew.
And Andrew.
But yeah.
When's the last time you saw the second one? The second one is
I
about.
literally haven't seen the second one.
Yeah.
Watching this was the first time I'm watching it in like 10 years.
I know. The second one is when the Margie comes to space. If anyone wants to watch it, I believe it's on Disney Plus. How do you feel about the movie? Watching it, do you still like it?
Oh my god, I love it. It's never not great.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't like the disc situation. What is the purpose of the disc?
Minus the disc
If the virus was already inserted on the plane, what is the disc gonna do? Lutz is like, I need the disc. I need the disc. The virus is already on the ship. Why do you need the disc? You've already done your job.
Murray killed everyone. But besides the disc part, how you feel about it, mate?
Great. Aside from the outfits being a little underwhelming, I remember them being much more,
Bigger.
elevated when I was younger. But other than that, I still love it. I do think the outfits in the second one, though, are still pretty good, if I remember correctly. But yeah.
I love Raven. This is when Raven got her big Disney break. So,
Yes.
And I'm sure this movie helped her land her. That's Raven.
a Raven role. Who knows? But probably.
Got her in there. Got her in with the Disney bigwigs, if you know what I mean.
For sure, baby.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved it. I really love Protozoa.
And this is our first
Disney
original movie.
Yes.
Disney Channel
original movie.
that we've done.
I love a Disney Channel movie.
Last movie we did was our largest box office blockbuster film, and now
That was Holes?
no, baby, that was The Grinch.
The Grinch. Right.
The Grinch.
The Grinch. Well, all right, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share.
I hate that.
All that great stuff.
I hate that I keep saying that. I forget to say that in the beginning. Ugh.
Okay.
But yes, agreed. And have a happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
Happy holidays.
Kind of better me. Who knows? Bam.
Bye.
Adios.